Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thursday, March 25th, full body warm-up dynamic stretch. Hopefully the wind stays relatively calm so that there isn't too much background noise. My apologies if it picks up. Before we begin, I just want to reiterate slash encourage you guys as ideally every day we're doing something. 10 minutes, a half hour, 60 minutes, anywhere in between, we're doing something every day for our physical well-being, our mental well-being, any sort of exercise that we can do on a daily basis. Get those endorphins going, get that heart pumping, get those lungs working. I guarantee that once you get done, you are going to feel just so much better than when you started. So every day, try and get something done. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to start off, well, let me back up real quick. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a wall or a stool, a step stool, something to balance off of, and we're going to need something comfortable to kneel off of. Also, when we get to the very end, we're going to be doing a series of split squats, so you may need something. If going down to the ground, you can't get all the way to the ground, then I got some mats right here, mats, pillows, blankets, something if I need to raise my floor and bring that up so that I can get myself into a good position. If you need any of that, pause, get that stuff, and then come on back. All right. So we got a lot that we're going to do today, so we're going to push through this. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to do quad pelvic tilts, 30 seconds. So I'll get here in position, making sure that I'm pushing away from the ground, pulling those shoulders away from the ears, and we're just going to work that lower half of the spine. So the upper half of your back, upper half of your spine is going to stay locked in place, and that lower half is going to be working, going through that anterior right here and that posterior right here tilt. Just working that back and forth. Working those end ranges of motion, seeing how much you can get out of it, and just working that back and forth. Just loosening up that, warming up that lower back, getting it working. Got about 5 seconds. And relax. Okay, so now we're going to do scapular push-ups and elevation and depression. So these can be done from the quad position like so, or they can be done from a full push-up position. So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1 with those scapular push-ups. So again, push-up position or from that hands and knees position. So I'll push away from the ground as hard as I can, and then keeping those arms straight, I'm going to let my chest fall, and the shoulder blades will collapse in. Push away, shoulder blades will collapse in one another. Big thing, keep those arms straight, keep pulling away from the shoulders, pulling away from the ears as much as we can, and dropping down and pushing away. So my shoulder blades collapse in on one another, and then they spread apart and push away. Collapse in and push away. One more, collapse in and push away. Now the elevation and depression, simply going to shrug my shoulders to my ears and pull away. I want you to focus on that pulling away. Shrug and pull away. Back up here. Shrug and pull away. Pulling away from the ears, nice and hard, pull away. Shrug, pull away, nice and strong. Shrug, pull away, nice and strong. Do a couple more. Shrug, pull away, shrug, pull away, and one more. Shrug and pull away. Cool. All right. So now we're going to go to the wall. We're going to be doing wall-facing swimmers and O's and W's, and then we're going to turn ourselves around and we're going to do back to the wall W's. Now, on those swimmers and on those O's and on those W's, I want you flush up against the wall. I'm going to be looking at you to talk to you. So we're going to start. We're going to have that left arm fixed to the wall, and that right arm's going to be doing that backstroke and that crawl stroke. Make sure everything we do is coming through that shoulder blade. All that activity is through that shoulder blade. So we're going 2 on each side. That left arm in place. That right arm here. So I'm going to push my arm back, thumb back. I'm going to rotate out at the shoulder. I'm going to backstroke, pull through that shoulder blade. Pull through that shoulder blade. I hit my hip. Lift the arm. I'm going to rotate out. Palm is out. Crawl stroke through that shoulder blade back to the top. Reach that arm back, thumb back. Rotate out. And then backstroke, big pull through the shoulder blade. Big pull, big pull. Hit that hip. Lift that arm. Going to rotate out. Palm up, palm out, thumb up. And then pull strong through the shoulder blade back to the top. Nice. Other arm. Drive that arm back, thumb back. I'm going to rotate at the shoulder. Then I'm going to backstroke, backstroke, backstroke. Then I'm going to lift that arm, pinky up. I'm going to rotate out at the shoulder and crawl stroke, crawl stroke. Good. One more. Reach that arm back. Gonna rotate that thumb forward, palm out, and backstroke, pull through that shoulder blade. Good. Lift that arm, rotate, and then pull nice and strong through that shoulder blade. Good. Now both arms. All right. So pull those arms back, thumbs away from the wall. Then we're going to rotate those thumbs to the wall, palms out, and we're going to backstroke, pulling really hard through both those shoulder blades. I'm going to lift, pinkies up. I'm going to rotate out, big butterfly stroke, pull through those shoulder blades, butterfly stroke, back to the top. Drive those arms back, rotate at the shoulders, and then big sweep coming back, big sweep coming back. Good, here we go. Lift, pinkies up, rotate, and then big butterfly stroke. Continue to pull back as we rotate to the top position. Fantastic. All right, so now we're gonna hit that wall facing W. So elbows at 90 degrees and elbows at shoulder height. Keep those elbows pinned to the wall, and then we're gonna be rotating away from the wall. 30 seconds, it's a constant, continuous contraction. All right, get those elbows in place, and then we're gonna be pivoting off the wall, pulling away. So really strong contraction, pull away from the wall. So this contraction is coming down through the middle of your back at the base of your shoulder blades, pulling as hard as you can, rotating back halfway through. Keeping yourself flush to the wall from your head, chest, belly, hips, feet, everything flush against the wall. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, now we're gonna turn, we're gonna face out. I'm gonna stand essentially however long my foot is, I'm gonna stand that far away from the wall. I'm gonna get myself into position here. I'm gonna press, I'm gonna posterior tilt, I'm gonna press that lower back into the wall. Gotta happen, gotta happen. Here, elbows into the wall. Then I'm going to rotate those arms up. Now if I can get my hands to the wall like such, then I'm going to start to slide them up just a little bit, but got to keep this back pin to the wall. So I keep that pin to the wall, and then I'm going to slide up. Once I hit that sticking point, that's where I'm going to hold for 30 seconds. All right, lower back to the wall, elbows to the wall, rotate up if you can, and then slide up, hit that sticking point and hold. Now if you, should hurt through the shoulders a little bit in a nice stretching way. So if you got that lower back pin to the wall and you get those elbows in contact with the wall and you can't rotate the hands all the way, don't worry about it. Just do what you can. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna go to the, we're gonna work on the legs now. Work on the hips. Those are gonna need the stool or the wall for balance. I'm gonna start standing on my right leg. We're gonna do 5 movements. Each of those movements we're gonna do 5 repetitions. Standing strong on this right leg, nice and tall, pull those shoulders down and back. Simply just gonna start out by bringing this leg up to about 90 degrees. We're gonna hold it here. We're gonna keep this leg in the air for all of our movements. I'm gonna kick and squeeze that quad, pull it in. Kick and squeeze that quad, pull it in. I wanna think about this standing leg here, from my foot through my hip, through my shoulders, is gonna be as tall as I possibly can. I don't wanna be leaning back or any sort of nonsense. All right, so we're going to rotate that leg out to the side. I like to put my hand across my torso so that my shoulders don't rotate, so everything stays square. We're going to kick. 1, make sure we get that nice squeeze at the end, right there. Nice quad contraction. 3, 4, 5. Now I want you to hold this position. Right now your toes are pointing up. I simply just want you to rotate. That feels good right there, with those toes pointing forward. So I have as much separation between my legs as I possibly can right now. And I'm going to bend my leg in like so. I'm going to squeeze that hamstring. Then I'm going to kick out, squeeze both my quads. Then I'm going to pull back in, squeeze that hamstring, quads, kick. 3, standing up as tall as I can, kick. 4, and kick. 5. Good. Pull that leg back in, and we're going to turn that knee up. Here we're going to be rotating that hip, internal rotation. We're going to think about keeping this knee as high as possible and then back as far as we can. And then we're going to be rotating the lower leg up. All right, ready? 1, 2, keep that knee up as high as you can. 3, balance. Good. Now we're simply just going to sweep this leg around to the back. I'm going to keep my left knee behind my right knee. Hamstring contraction here. Keeping this leg back, I'm simply just going to extend and squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Okay, switch to the other side. So here we go, standing strong on that left leg. Bringing that right leg up, nice and tall. Pull those shoulders down and back, abs tight. We're going to kick 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more. 5, nice and tall, good. Rotate that leg out. Hand across the torso, keep myself square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that leg elevated. It's simply just going to turn. Oh yeah, that feels good. So from here, standing nice and tall, I'm going to bend that leg in, squeeze that hammy, and extend out. 1, 2, squeeze everything. Squeeze those legs. Contract that hamstring. 3, squeeze those quads. 2 more. Lift that leg nice and high. 4, and 5. Good. Now we're going to bring that leg up nice and high. You hear my kids screaming in the background. We've been out of school for a while. Everybody's going to look claustrophobic. Keep that leg up nice and high. We're going to drive that leg down and in. Again, we're driving it down and in, but when I think about keeping it up as high as we can while we do so. That's 2. Keep that leg as high as we can while we rotate. 3, 4, 1 more. 5, good. Rotate, wrap that leg around, pushing that hip back. We're going to extend. 1, 2, 3. Keep that leg pushed back, all right? 4, really extend hard. Feel that hamstring and that glute. And 1 more. 5, beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to go to the ground. This can be done from the ground, or it can be done off of a chair. We're going to be going 30 seconds of Spider-Man and World's Greatest on one side for 30 seconds, and then the other side for 30 seconds. So if I go off of a chair, if I have my left foot up, and I have my hands to the right of my left foot, so Spider-Man position like so, and then I'm simply going to drop my hips and my knee and bring my chest up. All right. And wait, if you're using that chair or stool or something, make sure it's braced up against the wall so that it's not going to slide on you. All right, so we'll start with that left leg out front, that right leg back. Here I'm going to drop into this hip and then hold that bottom position for a second. Then I'm going to drop my knee down, hips down, chest up. Then extend that leg, drop down in position, hold that, good. Knee down, hips down, chest up. Trying to stay as long as I possibly can. Dropping down in position, good. Knee down, hips down, chest up. Leg, in this case the right leg nice and long, drop into that left hip. Knee down, hips down, chest up. Okay, now we're going to switch. Legs, that left leg long. Drop that left knee down to the ground, left hip to the ground, chest up. Keep that left leg straight. Drop into that right hip. Knee down, hips down, chest up. We're gonna keep this working. Feeling those hips, stretching them bad boys out. Let's do 1 more. Okay, from here what we're going to do is we're going to do 30 seconds of an alternating Spider-Man. So, starting position like so. And again, it can be done on the chair. If you're on the chair, stay on the chair. I'll drop into position. Now I'm simply just going to switch my feet. Drop into position. Switch my feet. On that switch, try to keep yourself low. Don't allow yourself to come up. Or from, minimize it as best as possible. Give that rear leg, keeping that rear leg long, dropping into that front hip. One more each side. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do 5 plank to squat sit. So the ideal way that we do this is we're in that push-up position. All right, and what I'll do is I'm going to walk the right foot up, the left foot up, and then drop into my squat sit position. All right, into my squat sit position. And then hands go back, walk the feet back. Now, your squat might not be this low, As you walk in a position, you might be here, you might be here, whatever is going to be a depth that's a little bit challenging for you from a mobility standpoint. Now, if you need a little bit of help with that, sitting in your squat sit, you need some sort of counterbalance, a door, a counter, a table, something like that, something heavy, then how you do that is pretend this is my counter. I hold plank position here, I walk up, grab hold of that counter, and then just use that for a little bit of counterbalance to hold me into position. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 5 of them. We're going to do 5 of them, all right? So start off in that plank position, walk the right foot up, walk the left foot up, and sit nice and deep into that squat sit. Make sure I'm activating through those, driving those big toes into the ground to activate those arches. So you got those big toes driven into the ground, activating those arches, really driving those knees out, activating those glutes. Trying to pull my heels down to my butt, trying to bring my torso up as much as I can. And then pulling those shoulders down and back, really just trying to create a nice, strong position. And one more. Good, okay. So, next thing that we're gonna do, I need that. Okay, so next thing we're gonna need something comfortable to kneel on. We're gonna do a series of split squats. We're gonna do a half kneeling pelvic tilt to get a nice stretch. Then we're gonna do a static hold, and then we're gonna do repetitions. So ideally, we do all of this, off of a mat on the ground. Now, this is where the pillows or the blankets or something comes into usage. If you can't get all the way down to the ground for whatever reason, doesn't really matter, but if getting down to the ground is challenging for you, then we can do everything off of this raised surface, right? I bring my floor up to a height it's gonna work for me. So I'll do everything off this raised position, all right? So I'll do one of them facing you, and then I'll do one of them at an angle so you can see it from a different angle. All right? So we're gonna posterior pelvic tilt. So think about pulling that belly in so we get a nice stretch from the hip flexor down to the knee. We're gonna hold that 20 seconds. Then we're gonna hold a static position with that knee off the ground for 20 seconds. And then we're gonna perform repetitions for 20 seconds. All right, ready? And establish that pelvic tilt. So real strong pelvic tilt, tucking that butt up underneath, pulling that belly in, getting that nice stretch, all right? Every time, right? We want to keep that knee and toe lined up. Don't want to let that knee buckle in with whatever we do. So establish that position, core tight, pull those shoulders down and back. Here we go, 2, 1, and we're just going to come up just a little bit, balance. So I'm going to hold this strong position. I can do a little pelvic tilt here as well, okay? And get a little extra stretch through my hip flexor and my quad. 10 more seconds, and then we'll do repetitions. 5 seconds, nice tall position. 2, 1, and repetitions. So I'm just going to work myself up and down, and I don't have to blaze through these. I can just do, at a good controlled pace, whatever that's going to be for me. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and good. Okay. So we're going to do the other side. So that was the right leg forward. Now we're going to do the left leg forward. I'll show you the other 90-degree angle. Okay. So again, we hit that pelvic tilt. We're going to pull that belly in, tuck that butt up underneath, and feel that stretch here. So this 90-90 position is I got each knee approximately 90 degrees. All right, core tight, pull these shoulders down and back. 10 seconds. Here we go. 2, 1. Strong position and come up just a little bit. So I want to be active on this front foot. Knee and toe stay lined up. I want to be active. Active foot, active arch, active ankles. Making sure that I maintain that balance. Strong position. Again, to maintain that pelvic tilt so I can continue to get that little bit of stretch. And repetitions, go. So I'm just going to be doing whatever reps I can in this. We got 10 more seconds. Three, 2, 1, and good. Okay. Excellent. Okay. There you go. Warm up, dynamic stretch for the day. Be back at you in a minute with the workout.